So this is a gated article. So those of you, I recommend you sign up. But high level, marketers need to prepare themselves for the end of the click. If your growth model still depends on paying for search, you'll soon be out of luck. A strong brand is needed to navigate industry changes. So this literally ties into what we were just talking about, which is an article for Marketing Week, by the way, opinion post. But this literally is talking about it. It's the same lens as, as people that were lazy marketing or just overly dependent on traditional channels of digital marketing and SEO and PPC only. This one talks about pay-per-click advertising and paid search. And if you're only depending on that, well, it's time to not just depend on that. And so, those of you that are listening, if you're in charge of your marketing, if you're in charge of, if you're a business owner or C-suite, this should, the alarm bells should be ringing, seriously. And you should be looking at your budgets and if not this year, you missed the boat, but for next year, you should be absolutely not just putting AI search or generative engine optimization or answer engine optimization as a line item down. You should say, okay, to your marketing team, right? Or your agency, whomever you're working with, we need to diversify what we're doing in marketing, how we're marketing our brand, how we're generating leads, and we need to do it fast because, what's going to happen is as SEO continues to get, diminished over time, the transfers happening to AI search, the companies that are really pushing hard and marketing properly are going to be rewarded long-term. We'll have a really good foundation. And then guess what? You'll be stuck, behind, literally behind. So Catherine, John, what you guys want to chime in on this one?
Yes. Let's think about what the phrase paying for search really means. That implies that there has to be search that is looking the way that we think it's going to look.
Yep.
We don't know what search is going to look like because of AI's intervention a year from now, 2 years from now.
Exactly.
It could look similar, but it might not. So relying on that, what happens if AI search, if paying for search, if the search model that we know is gone a year from now, and it might be, frankly.
I personally think it's going to be gone. I don't know when.
Yeah.
And no one has a crystal ball to predict.
Yeah.
But if I had to, just an educated, been doing this for almost 3 decades guess, I would say it's coming down very soon. Just take a look at chat and how, their ad program, which, for, those of you that have advertised on chat, please comment in social media. Let us know how it's going. I would love to hear because I'm waiting. And if no one's listening, I guarantee you no one from chat is listening to our podcast. But if you happen to be, please allow Brick Marketing to advertise because I am dying to test it.
That'd be fun.
But I'll tell you, that's not keyword based, right?
No.
So that's just it, right? So it's Gemini one day is just going to be thematic, right? Type advertising. Really?
It will. And so then there would be nothing to pay for. So what's happening now, what we're seeing is people have said, oh no, organic is going down and now we need to figure out a way to get traffic. And one of the answers that people have been reaching for is to pay for search.
Right.
But you're going to be in a jam again.
Right.
Because paying for search implies that search has to exist the way that we understand it in order to be able to pay to be represented on it. And it might not be the case. We have to be agile. And the best way to be agile is to have not all of our eggs in one basket to begin with.
And if everyone is thinking that way, or if a lot of brands and businesses are thinking that way, like, oh boy, SEO is diminished down, let's invest more in pay-per-click, guess what? Right? Like there's only, 2 or 3 positions that everyone fights for in that top section of search results currently in Google. Everyone's fighting for it, right? So like if you all of a sudden you have a flood of more advertisers coming in, click costs are going to be higher, ROI is going to drop, then what? You need to diversify your marketing. Market a lot of other ways, get creative, be places that your competition are not there, right? You want to be where your competition is, but you want to be where your competition is not. That's how good marketing works, quite frankly. So, John, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that the way that people search is just going to change like pretty rapidly. I feel like, you know, they're already like testing it, like we talked about last week on YouTube, where there's that new function where you can basically essentially talk to like an LLM that'll suggest you videos instead of going through your recommended or using the normal, you know, search function. I feel like at some point, like Google might be one of the first to just like flip the switch and you're going to
Oh,
go to
yeah,
google.com and it's just going to be like a Gemini
I
like
agree.
prompt area, right? So it's like, who know, like I
Yes.
don't think they're ready for it, but
No,
it's
not
going
yet.
to happen eventually. And that's
It
just the way
is.
that it's
And
going to be.
you know what I'm looking forward to, John, honestly, because you and I and Kath, like the three of us and other members of our team, we've been saying this stuff since like until we're blue in the face. So many places, in person, on webinars, on this podcast. And I'll tell you, it's going to happen. And I'd love to go back and say, see, to all the people, right? I mean, we called it just
Mm-hmm.
because you can just see it right in front of you, you know? That's why you have to evolve, people. Can't just stay
Mm-hmm.
still. You have to continue to push. So,